Well then, 2019 is at its end, and as with last year, we're going to end this year with one final video. As you know, each and every month I feature a new set of 10 Android applications on my channel, and so for today's video, I'm going to showcase the best 20 apps that I've tried throughout the year. And as with last year, I'm going to tell you which ones I've continued using up until this point. So without further ado, here are my top 20. So perhaps the most influential app that I featured towards the start of this year was QuickSwitch. This is technically a Magisk module rather than a traditional application, but if you've got a rooted device, then using this lets you set any supported third-party launcher as the stock default launcher. And this means that it gains full control over the gesture and overview menu, which makes using gestures when using a third-party launcher a much improved experience. This app alone is pretty much why I root most of my Android devices these days. Bottom Quick Settings is an app that I no longer use, but really appreciate for its functionality and impressive design. It takes one of the most used menus of Android, the Quick Settings menu, which definitely isn't very one-handed friendly, and moves it to the bottom, making it really easy to access with one hand. PhotoTime is an app that I only just recently uninstalled off my phone despite featuring it at the start of the year, and that's because I used it quite a lot up until just recently. It basically lets you see when the sun is going to rise and when it's going to set in any given location, which is a super handy tool to have in your arsenal as a filmmaker or photographer. I still use Boost for Reddit as my go-to Reddit client. It's got a super nice design, definitely the best of any Reddit client that I've used up to now, and it makes sifting through Reddit a visually nice experience, which is great. Skip Ads is one of those apps that I install on every device I use just because of how useful its functionality is. Once installed and enabled, it sits in the background and does exactly what the name indicates and skips YouTube ads as soon as that skip ad button is enabled. It sounds lazy, and I guess it probably is, but I love it. Given I install and try so many applications throughout the year, Unapp has become a staple in my application arsenal. It lets me batch uninstall apps in one go, which saves a heck of a lot of time and is again another one of those apps that makes its way onto any device that I use. Custom navigation bar is no longer really of much use to me given that my main devices are all running Android 10, which basically removes the navigation bar altogether, but I really liked this app's flexibility in being able to customize the navigation bar, and I found myself using it fairly regularly prior to the Android 10 update. One app that I do still use quite a lot though is Screen Dimmer. This is still just about the only screen dimming application that I can find on the Google Play Store that, when activated, also dims the notification and navigation bar as well. Depending on the phone that I use and how dim the screen can get natively, this app is a serious lifesaver when using the phone in bed when it's dark. Another app that I have installed on pretty much every device I own is SNAPMOD. It is, in my opinion, the best app for presenting screenshots in device renders. There's lots of flexibility and room to customize the exports as well, and a heap of device renders to pick from. And although I don't use it all that often anymore, I still have it installed just in case I ever need its functionality. So I've featured less wallpaper applications this year, but of the few that I did showcase, my favorite one was ABSTRUCT. This is a wallpaper app featuring backdrops and artworks created by the designer of the OnePlus wallpaper designs, which are always super visually impressive and unique. Definitely lots of eye-catching designs in this app if you're looking to jazz up your home screen. APPY Weather is perhaps my favorite standalone weather application available on the Google Play Store, mainly because of its super clean and visually striking design. If you haven't yet tried it out, it's definitely worth a look. Expensify is definitely an app that I still use, particularly when I'm feeling motivated and on top of my business expenses, but it basically lets you quickly track and document any receipts, which helps out greatly when it comes to finalizing your tax returns each financial year. Now, FIREFOX SCREENSHOTGO is not an app that I use anymore, but its functionality has always kept me impressed. It's kind of like Google's new voice recorder app, but for screenshots, in that it scans and indexes any text in the screenshots stored on your phone, which then allows you to quickly search through them using keywords. Now, I really like Google's always on display implementation, but for those who desperately miss the notification LEDs on the phones of yesteryear, the NOTIFYBUDDY is a really impressive and highly customizable app that will pretty much bring back that functionality. COMETIN is an exciting new app that I recently featured that kind of lets you tweak your phone in ways that normally only a rooted phone would let you, but without the need for root access. Generally speaking, I always root my Android devices these days, so I don't really have a need for this app, but its potential is super intriguing, and I'll definitely be keeping an eye on its development in the future. Automatic Dark Theme is an app that improves the functionality of Android 10's new system-wide dark theme by letting you set rules that will activate or disable the dark theme based on the time of day. It works really well and even has an automatic wallpaper switcher baked in, so it's super handy if you're already running Android 10. Now, even though Google's new Recorder application doesn't work on every phone, it is seriously a game changer in terms of voice recording apps, given its ability to transcribe recordings. For those who can't get it to work, make sure you install the older version found at the link below, version 1.0.271 and so forth. That's the one to get, as the newer ones don't seem to work. Screen Recorder is an app that I featured in a recent episode, but they've just updated it to support 90 and 120 frames per second screen recordings to go along with all of their other super high quality recording settings as well. So if you're looking for an ad-free, high quality screen recording app, this one has just leapt in front of the pack even more so. FACENOTIFY is an app that can improve the functionality of most phones that have some sort of face unlock technology built in. It will hide the notifications on your lock screen in a collapsed, unexpandable view until your phone detects your face, at which point it will automatically expand each of them. Super simple concept, but it also has that high-tech feel about it as well, although keep in mind that it does require permissions to be granted via ADB. And finally, I've featured a few video editing applications throughout the year, but the most impressive one was the very last app I featured this year, called ALIGHT Motion. It is a super advanced video editing application with a whole host of tools that make creating motion graphics and fancy edits on your phone possible. So if you're looking to up your video editing game on your phone, then ALIGHT Motion is definitely worth a try. But that's it. They were the best applications that I featured throughout the year. Now, as always, each of them will be included as links down in the notes below. And I'm very interested to know which apps were your top picks from throughout the year. So let me know down in the comments below. But aside from that, that's it. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will catch you later.